From the developers of that Shinji Mikami game that isn't Resident Evil, and the publishers of games that crash harder than the stock market, comes a new IP that finally fulfills every gamer's true desire, letting you talk to dogs. Oh yeah, and there's like magic or whatever too. Ghostwire Tokyo. Enter the neon spectacle of Ghostwire, a brand new title that initially stunned audiences with its bold visuals and intriguing atmosphere, but kind of got overshadowed by their creative director that instantly became a meme, only to release to mixed reception for feeling underbaked, but also because it's extremely unapologetically Japanese, but like Ghost Umbrella Japanese, not Body Pillow Japanese. Unless you got a thing for really toothy ladies. No judgment. Inhabit the body of Akito, a character so generic that his hands leave more of an impression than he does, as a supernatural event raptures everyone in the city, releasing ghouls from the depths of the underworld, and Akito must team up with a gruff boomer ghost cop who half possesses him to stop a maniacal masked mall goth. I mean, striped sleeves and painted nails, so 2000s, as he attempts to use Akito's sister to permanently turn Tokyo into a haven for the dead, in a story that has intriguing world building and characters, but will constantly remind you that it's still very much ridiculous.
The real problem's the fragrant underworld oil.
The what?
You know where this game really shines? Its exploration of Japanese folklore and urban myth. And this guy, who took a crap so messy, he couldn't die right. Okay, look, not all stories can be about magic and unicorns. I mean, sometimes you just need a more relatable human element, like blowing up the toilet at a Dairy Queen.
I think there's blood.
You've wiped enough!
Traverse through the barren streets of Tokyo, in a dense urban landscape that feels like something straight out of a J-horror film in its eerie emptiness, right until you run into a convenience store run by a cat, where despite the surreal imagery and very creepy monster design, the scariest thing you run into is getting yelled at for hitting the fog wall.
Quit it!
As you jump from rooftop to rooftop like Japanese Spider-Man. Purify the literal gate in your way to the next objective, and collect all the souls scattered around like some sort of exorcist janitor, until you drop everything to pet the cat or dog you just saw.
なでなでよしよしすることができます。
In an open world experience that doesn't break the mold, but has some really cool urban exploration top to bottom. The one thing I kind of miss is the random one-off NPC dialogue. It's just not a full Bethesda experience without someone telling me they took an arrow to the knee, or that a settlement needs saving. Guess I'll just have to put on the Fallout suit and just imagine it then. Tut those fingers in Ghostwire's extremely flamboyant combat, as you throw balls of magic at the numerous slender men and women that block your path, that will have you switching from different types of magic depending on the situation, or more often than not when you run out of ammo after spamming the trigger the whole fight. Then break your enemy's defenses to cats cradle their soul out of their bodies, in combat that can get a little sweaty with enough guys thrown at you, but mostly will have you fighting with the controls. And for boss battles, basically nothing at all, in gameplay that starts to feel like there's something intriguing in its simplicity, but could still use like a dodge or something to make you feel less like an old man doing finger guns at monsters. Come on, let's be honest. All the fancy handwork aside, it's basically like playing Luigi's Mansion if they remade it on Unreal. So open that Palm Pilot and get ready to weave some Naruto hand signs in a game which, despite its pitfalls, is still one of the most interesting games on the market, but feels like that anime you have to convince people to actually watch. Okay, look, it doesn't have the greatest first season, but I promise it totally gets good. Starring Ashy Ketchum, KK Slide Into Your Body, Sistered Away, The Powerpuff Ghouls, My Chemical Romance, and Yokai Watch, Ghostbusters Tokyo. You know, I hope the next one is in America, so I can send Alf back to hell where he belongs. We all know he's a threat, and not just to cats. Tell us what you'd like to hear in my epic voice in the comments below. When I was their age, I was punching hyenas to death for fun. Well, let me tell you some more about my favorite subject, me. Play every gamer as if it is your last one. Revenge is motivation enough, at least it's honest. A cup of coffee per day keeps the boss away.